I opened my garage door and froze because there it was, a Pepto-Bismol pink sedan sitting neatly in my spot, the spot attached to my house, the spot where my Lamborghini was supposed to sleep for the week. It wasn't just anywhere, it was in my locked garage. And the worst part, it belonged to Karen, the self-appointed queen of our HOA. That was the morning I realized my vacation plans had collided with pure insanity, and it was the spark that would unravel an entire corrupt regime in my neighborhood. I need you to picture this. I'd spent months grinding at work, finally landed a big contract, and as a reward to myself, I splurged on my one ridiculous dream, a canary yellow Lamborghini Aventador. I'd also booked a solo trip to Costa Rica, surfing tacos, hammocks, no responsibilities. That morning, my suitcase was packed, my Uber was on the way. I had 3 hours to catch my flight. All I wanted to do was move the Lambo into the garage, throw the heavy cover over it, lock the door, and disappear for a week. Instead, I got hit with the mental car crash of seeing Karen's pink sedan inside my garage like some parasite squatting in my space. Karen had been on my case since the day I moved into Oakwood Estates 6 months earlier. My music was too loud. Even when I was listening to podcasts, my lawn was the wrong shade of green. And of course, she despised the Lamborghini because it didn't fit the aesthetic of her perfect suburban kingdom. She lived 2 doors down and thrived on controlling everyone's life. And now she had the audacity to park her car in my garage. I stormed to her house, blood pressure climbing with every step, rang the bell, and there she was, 50-something, bleach blonde hair. Pink tracksuit matching the car, smug as ever. She smirked. "Can I help you?" Like nothing was wrong. I told her to move her car immediately. I had a flight to catch. That's when she hit me with her line. "I don't give a damn what your deed says. Until I see proof you're not running some illegal chop shop with all your ghetto money, this garage space is on probation. My car is safer here." I can't describe the short circuit that happened in my brain. I was too stunned to speak for a second. She was actually trying to justify this, claiming she was securing the community, that she was doing me a favor. My Uber pinged, arriving now. And in that split second, an idea bloomed in my head. A petty, terrible, magnificent idea. I turned to her and said, "You know what, Karen? You're right. My mistake." She thought she'd won, but she had no clue what was coming. I fired up the Lambo, the V12. Growling like thunder, backed it out, and instead of pulling it onto the driveway, I angled it diagonally across the garage entrance. Perfect geometry. The Lamborghini became a wall, an immovable barricade sealing her sedan inside. Inches from each wall, no wiggle room. Her car was trapped, and I pulled the cover over the Lambo like tucking in a beast for hibernation. The garage door slid shut with a satisfying thud. Karen's face went from smug to horrified as she realized she'd been outplayed. I grabbed my suitcase, hopped in the Uber, and flew off to Costa Rica with a smile I couldn't wipe off my face. For the first few days, it was paradise. Surfing at Don Tacos by the beach, naps in a hammock. I ignored the world until I turned my phone back on and nearly choked dozens of missed calls, texts, voicemails, all from Karen. "You can't do this. I'm calling the police. You'll be fined into oblivion." Then it shifted to whining. "I need my car. I have a hair appointment, and my personal favorite. My poodle has anxiety, and she's missing her vet visit. Her nerves are your fault." I laughed so hard I almost spilled my beer. But it escalated. Gerald, the HOA president, called me. He puffed up his chest over the phone, telling me Karen had filed a formal grievance and the board had voted to fine me for barricading her vehicle and creating a hostile environment. They were piling on violations, parking nuisance property modification. They even threatened daily fines. And for a moment, sitting there on a porch in Costa Rica, I felt doubt creep in. Was I the crazy one here? Did I overplay my hand? Maybe I should have just called a tow truck instead of playing games. I had this flash of wanting to quit to cut my losses. Then my cousin sent me screenshots from the neighborhood Facebook forum. Karen had written a manipulative essay painting herself as a saint who bravely parked in my garage to protect the neighborhood only for me to fly into a rage and imprison her car. She claimed she was living in fear of me, the unstable man with the gaudy car. Comments poured in supporting her, calling me dangerous. My stomach dropped. It felt like the whole neighborhood was against me. But then one comment stopped me cold. It was from Ben, the guy across the street. "Wait a minute, I saw everything. He wasn't screaming. He calmly walked over, talked to you, then went back. You'd been parked in there for hours before he even came out. This post seems misleading. For the first time, someone backed me up publicly." Karen's cronies attacked him immediately, but it didn't matter, I wasn't alone anymore. That was the moment I decided I wasn't going to fold. When I got back home, the circus was still in full swing. Karen had called the police multiple times, first claiming I stole her car, then that I threatened her. The officers shrugged it off as a civil matter, but the harassment was constant. And then one morning I heard this rhythmic sound outside, thack, thack, thack. I peeked out the window and burst out laughing. Karen was standing on her lawn hose in hand, aiming a sprinkler directly at my garage door, soaking it like a lunatic. She wanted to punish me with tap water. I recorded the whole thing. Then I turned on my smart sprinkler system. Jets erupted from the ground and blasted her from behind. She shrieked, slipped on her wet grass, and retreated to her house, dripping like a drowned rat. That video was golden evidence. Of course, she twisted it on Facebook again, claiming I weaponized my sprinklers to attack her. But this time, people weren't buying it. Neighbors started siding with me. Her mask was slipping. And then the HOA dropped the real bomb, a certified letter threatening to hire a locksmith to break into my garage to abate the nuisance. That's when it turned from harassment to felony intent. I sent everything to my uncle, a real estate attorney. He laughed when he saw the letter. This is a written confession of their plan to commit breaking and entering. If they even touch your garage, they're done. He drafted 2 brutal documents, one to the HOA warning them of personal liability, and one to Karen, a cease and desist listing every incident, trespassing, false police reports, slander, even the sprinkler stunt. We mailed certified copies to every board member and to Karen herself. The silence that followed was deafening. One board member resigned on the spot. Then, late one night, Karen herself showed up at my door. I spoke to her through the intercom. She looked defeated. No makeup sweatshirt instead of her power tracksuit. Her voice shook as she begged, "Please don't sue me. I can't survive this." I told her flatly, "You trespassed. You lied. You harassed me. You have 24 hours to delete every lie online. Only then can you retrieve your car." She whispered, "Yes." The queen had been broken. The next day, her posts vanished from Facebook. At the agreed hour, I opened the garage door. Neighbors watched from their porches as Karen slunk up my driveway, avoiding eye contact. She struggled with the car cover, revealing the Lamborghini gleaming like a golden beast, the same car she'd mocked as gaudy. She had to squeeze past it just to reach her sedan. I started the Lambo. Its roar, echoing like victory, backed it out and cleared her path. She floored it out of my garage, nearly clipping the mailbox, and sped off without looking back. Ben gave me a thumbs up. The battle was over. But the war wasn't done. At the next HOA meeting, I presented their certified letter threatening to break into my home. Neighbors erupted. One by one, they told stories how Karen fined them for gardens, trees, even mailbox paint. I realized I wasn't just fighting for me. I was fighting for everyone she'd bullied. My uncle stood briefcase in hand and told the room, "If this board doesn't resign and overhaul its procedures, we'll resolve this in court." The board crumbled. Gerald and his cronies resigned on the spot. A new interim board took over with Ben at the helm. Then came the twist no one expected. While auditing finances, Ben discovered fake invoices, shell companies, and reimbursements for community projects that never happened. Karen had been embezzling HOA funds for years, landscaping her yard, buying luxury items, even paying for the pink paint job on that ridiculous sedan. The car that started this entire nightmare was literally funded by stolen HOA money. Police got involved. Detectives built a case, subpoenaed records, interviewed vendors. And one quiet Tuesday, unmarked cars pulled up to Karen's house. She answered the door, pale as a ghost. They cuffed her and walked her down her front path in front of everyone. No screaming, no drama, just the end of a tyrant. She was charged with felony fraud and theft, forced to pay restitution, and barred from ever holding a position of authority again. And just like that, the Karen who ruled Oakwood Estates with fear and fines was gone. Never underestimate how far entitlement can go, or how far you'll need to push back when someone decides your home is their playground.